oh my god, the game's so fucking good.
Hmm.
Like once you get to City of Tears, like everything changes. That's like,
Oh
how far did you get, Zach? Did you beat it, or
no,
I'd have been impressed. It's a hard
no,
game.
no, 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 no. I've pretty much I've hit the City of Tears. I haven't really gotten past that yet.
That's fine.
Um, Life kind of got in the way, so I haven't played it in like a week.
I, I just remember there were like two big moments in Hollow Knight where I was like, holy shit, because like that's what I think I love about that game so much is just like it's like the best Metroidvania ever. Like it does like the things that people like about Metroidvanias that like are appealing about that genre. That game just turns up to 11. It's
Oh
just
yeah.
like there's just so much like free exploration that you can just stumble into entire fucking worlds where
Yep.
you're like, "Oh my god, I don't even know where I am. Like where am I? I have like no sense of like where the fuck I am. I feel like lost in like this other world." Like that kind of shit that happens several times in that game. City of Tears is the first time. The City of Tears is the first big moment where I'm like really just hits you. Like the atmosphere, like that area is just dripping with atmosphere.
Yeah.
And there's another area called Kingdom's Edge that you'll find eventually, and there's like a real similar feeling where you're just like, just the scope of it is like,
Yeah. I'm not a big like Metroidvania person. I
mm-hmm.
love Hollow Knight, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that gameplay tends to frustrate me after a while
It,
because eventually I want to like progress, and the progression in those games are quite different than traditional progression through a video game.
well, here's the thing though. Here's the thing. Here's what I'd say about Hollow Knight. Okay, pick a direction. You're gonna progress. You're gonna find
But
something that you need that is going to make you stronger and is going to move the story along. It
oh
becomes
no,
kind of like a web of things. Like it's
yeah.
not linear, but like the go ahead. I'm sorry, you had something you wanted to say.
No, you're fine. No, no, I completely understand that. You progress, and like the progression in Metroidvania games, especially with Hollow Knight,
Mm-hmm.
is completely different from a linear progression that I'm basically used to.
Mm-hmm.
And while I love that style, it frustrates me after a while because I want to. I sometimes I want to go quicker, and so I can only really play these kinds of games in like spurts,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have to stop for a while. Otherwise, I'm gonna hate it.
What do you mean like by go quicker? Like what does that mean to you?
Well, story for one. I
Mm-hmm.
like progressing through stories, and this one the story's kind of loose.
It's yeah. The way you have to think of that game story wise, it's like it's very Dark Soulsy.
Mm-hmm.
I think storytelling in Hollow Knight is actually better than Dark Souls and like that Souls series in general. Like I think it's a little less abstract. Like there's a little bit more emotion and like there's a lot more meaningful shit. Like there
Mm-hmm.
are moments that will really hit you. Like Dark Souls, it was all just like the gameplay and the world like the lore and the world building, like the world
Yeah,
design. And like that would get like a lot of emotional reaction out of me just by like stumbling into a new area and what have you.
there's a
Like I didn't really
there's a lot
get
I can
super
feel
attached
when
to
I'm
like the
playing.
characters. Like
There's a lot of anger when I'm playing Dark Souls, but that's for a different reason.
um Hollow Knight, oh my god, Hollow Knight will, if you think Dark Souls is hard, holy shit.
No,
Um
Hollow Knight is fucking hard.
you're still in City of Tears. Oh my god, dude, it's way harder than that. The second Hornet fight, there's another Hornet fight, and it is, well, I'm at white. I'm at the literal last area of the game. Like after I beat this area, I can go fight the final boss.
Oh wow.
Um, and I haven't picked it up in like 2 months because it's the White Palace, and anyone who's played that game who's watching like knows what the White Palace is like. It's like the like final platforming challenge. It's like it's really really difficult. There's like a lot of whizzing saw blades and a bunch of different like it's just like this like mechanical like nightmare that you have to kind of navigate, and there's just a lot of you have to really have movement down, like down pat, and even then it's like a trial by death kind of thing. Which thankfully I have hive blood, which basically when you get hit, if you don't take damage for like another 10 seconds or so, you just get your health back.
Oh, cool.
Your health just slowly regenerates. It only happens for one health. So if you get hit twice, you'll regenerate the last hit that you took, but not the hit before that. That's gone forever.
Yeah.
And if you try to heal, it'll bring back the thing that you're regenning. So you'll basically waste a heal. But basically,
Okay.
it makes it so that I can't die in that if I'm really patient. Like if I can just wait for my health to regen. So because when you get hit by something, like when you fall in acid or when whatever happens,
Yeah.
like it like pulls you back to the last solid ground you were on. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
In White Palace. So it's very doable if you have hive blood. If I didn't, I would be absolutely like I would have not gotten anywhere near as far as I got, because I'd only get like 10 chances to get through this whole fucking area. But oh, it's maddening. I'm really fucking close too. But like once I think I just have to get through this last area and then I can actually beat the game. And it's so good though. I think I remember what I was gonna say. That's where I kind of sidetracked myself again, or derailed myself again. So because I was talking about, I was comparing it to Dark Souls. So like the thing about Hollow Knight is it is abstract. Like the story is very like it is there. It takes a lot of cues from Dark Souls. There's no doubt about that. Definitely does that. It's very Dark Soulsy. It is basically Dark Souls meets Metroidvania. But they do a couple things better. While the story and the characters are like really abstract, there's still like a ton of personality in them. There's like a ton of personality in the world. Like when you progress through areas, you do feel like something's happening. Like you're working towards something. It doesn't feel like yeah, it's not like there's not like a heavy narrative involved, but like you're learning the story by learning what happened in, like the world is telling you the story like passively, and it's doing a good job at telling you the story. That's the thing. Like in Dark Souls, it's just like, oh, this is a cool area, I wonder what happened here. You can find out, you can kind of surmise, you can like put in a lot of thought into like, okay, what happened here, what's this area, what do they do here, but like they don't really tell you.
Yeah.
Like Hollow Knight, through a lot of these areas, through exploration, tells you, like it tells you about the world that you live in. It tells you about some of the like what happened, and it's really interesting. The world actually changes as you go through the game. There are a couple areas that like actually like progress and like worse. Like the this isn't really a spoiler. It's kind of just a thing that it is a spoiler, but the Forgotten Crossroads at some juncture in the game, I forget exactly what has to happen. There's like a couple. It's like a couple different. It's after the game kind of like splits. Like after City of Tears. Actually, once you get into City of Tears, you can really just go anywhere. Like not anywhere, but like you can go several different directions at that point, and those can lead to pretty much anywhere.
Gotcha.
Eventually, like that's where everything just kind of opens up and spreads out. But eventually, once you meet one of a few different benchmarks, because it's hard to measure progress at that point. The Forgotten Crossroads, like the first area that you're in, it becomes infected, and like the whole thing is like overrun with like that orange like infection, and all the enemies change, and there's certain paths that are blocked now. It's really cool. Like it's really like the first time it happens, you're like, whoa, what the fuck happened here? Because you have to go back to that area like quite a few times, and then just all of a sudden like everything's different.
Hmm.
So that's the kind of storytelling that happens in Hollow Knight. And yeah, it is a little abstract and less direct. Like it's still very vague, but it's something that like I actually was kind of emotionally invested in. It's something that I kind of like was able to understand. Whereas Dark Souls was very, 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 very abstract and very like
Dark Souls was here is world, go do world.
yeah, like you had objectives and there was some way there was ways to understand all of that, but like Hollow Knight I didn't have to like watch YouTube videos to get like what the fuck is happening in it. Like it it makes sense. Like they give you text in the overworld that explains things pretty succinctly about what's happening, and they give you and they show you through like the areas you go to, like what the
Yeah.
function of these areas are.
Well, yeah, it's the game telling the story through gameplay and world building instead of in your face.
And that's what I mean by it does that better than Dark Souls, because it doesn't make you have to like look up the lore to understand. Like Dark Souls is almost I'd say Dark Souls is best played with a guide. Like I would just outright say that. Like not as far as where to go, but like as far as what you should be doing with your character and that kind of stuff. Like Dark Souls is something that like actually enhances the experience, which you could say is maybe like a criticism of it. Because I don't think you should need a guide to play a game. I'd say that like I enjoyed my time with Dark Souls a lot more once I started looking up builds, because I just felt like I was just kind of like running in circles up to that point. But Hollow Knight is a lot more straightforward. Hollow Knight is like there's no wrong way to play it. Like go in a direction, you're going to get something that enhances your movement capabilities and opens up opportunities for you to go to this area and in that area. There's an area you run into like within 5 minutes of playing that is going to stick out to you because you're gonna like it's like you remember that mine shaft. I don't know how long it's been since you played the game, but like there's like this crystal mine shaft you run into like right away.
Oh, that.
Yeah, there's gonna be a moment where you're like, oh, that's for that, I can go there now, and like get excited. You get to explore this whole like that's kind of what happened to me at a certain point where I just kept playing because I just expected like the world to stop growing outward, and it just never did. Until I was like, I've put like 60 hours into this game, dude. Like, you can they're the bad ending, quote unquote. You can get pretty early on. You can get after about like 20 hours or so. But the actual like true ending takes quite a bit of time, and you have to explore a lot of different areas. And I just like loved playing that game. I don't know. I know I've been gushing about it for like a good half hour now, but like, holy shit, that game is so fun.
No, it is fun. I just get frustrated with it very quickly, so I have to take a break.
No, that's fair. Are you at the boss at City of Tears, or did you just get there?
I literally just got to City of Tears.
So you haven't gotten to the Soul Sanctum yet?
No.
Okay, cool. That was a barrier for me. That's like the first boss fight. It's like something just clicked at a certain point, and like I just kind of like Hornet can be a little tough. Like that's like kind of the first benchmark of like, okay, now I have to understand how this works. Like I really have to like learn the patterns. But the boss at the Soul Sanctum like is like the next level of like, oh, okay, I just have to keep throwing myself at this boss until I really learn the patterns. And that's another thing that I'm sorry, I'm rambling here at this point, but like that's like another thing I'd say that they do better than Dark Souls is that it's very pattern oriented, where it's like, okay, when this happens, I do this. And your reaction time has to be really fucking good. But it will get better. There's a lot of like bullshit Dark Souls tracking in like in those games where like someone will swing at you and you'll dodge, and then they'll just like pivot with you and hit you anyways, and you're just like, what the fuck? Like that shit, that doesn't happen in Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is like, whenever I die, it's my fault, and I feel like it's my fault, and I just need to learn the pattern better and get better with my reaction time. And
it's not your fault. It's not
It's
your
not your
fault.
fault. It's not your
It's
fault.
not your fault.
It's not your fault. Oh, that fucking scene. Don't do that to me, Zach.